Seeing Knight-Hennessy, I thought to myself, this almost seems too good to be true. And it's also something that I probably wouldn't get accepted into.
Knight-Hennessy exposes you to people from all around the world who are studying really incredible things that you don't even know you're curious about until you hear them speak about it. I have a lot of physics friends. I don't know why. I'm in political science. I would think, right?
When I first came to Knight-Hennessy, it became clear that every problem that was facing the world today, someone in Knight-Hennessy is deeply passionate about and currently working on. It's a really powerful energy to be surrounded by.
They would have like a problem-solving session.
One of our goals in designing Knight-Hennessy was to try to build an educational environment where people can grow into leaders that will be multidimensional, that will be able to collaborate with others across different boundaries, because that's what's going to be necessary to get the kind of change that we need.
And there's a lot that is shared across like psychiatric illness. Knight-Hennessy Scholars is a multicultural, multidisciplinary graduate fellowship program. I am really interested in the intersection between addiction neuroscience and the environment. Here, those with cocaine use disorder. Yeah. What happens when someone can experience a lifetime of poverty or racism, how that comorbidly impacts brain function. There's clearly something missing from the research to actually translating to individuals in the real world. What really made Stanford stand out was that they have an entire policy-driven focus here towards addiction. Stanford was the only place that I saw this. And I have yet to find such deep community outside of Knight-Hennessy. Coming here for lunch, I really believe that I could go up to any table and have a great conversation with people. I feel really at home in this space.
I really admire that about your research. You're very good at connecting these seemingly unrelated disciplines.
I had actually first met Henna and Sana at Immersion Weekend, and we quickly became friends there. However,
this is like network analysis and like the social sciences.
Yes, exactly.
I love that.
Exactly. When we are thinking about how best to help people who struggle with addiction, I know that I cannot do this alone, and so I'm really grateful to have colleagues in sociology and public health and medicine and even business and think about it from different lenses. That in and of itself makes science better, it makes my research better, it makes me better as a human being.
The friendships that you develop while being here, it opens up a whole world of opportunities. Growing up in Ghana, when I was 6 years old, my cousin and I both developed cholera. Our families took us to a nearby clinic. There was no room available, and very unfortunately, my cousin passed away. The need for better healthcare access is something that I've been driven by for pretty much all of my life. I came into Stanford to first pursue the medical degree. Having Knight-Hennessy as one of the first facilitators of social interactions to meet people who care genuinely about the work they're doing, it truly is a special place. My roommate, Jules, was also going through the medical program and had also been accepted into Knight-Hennessy. I'm concerned it might be an AVF.
No P-waves, yeah.
He had done some work in refugee camps before coming to Stanford. My background included doing some voluntary healthcare work in Peru and also in Ghana. Jules became one of the inspirations for thinking through ways that we can provide healthcare to areas that were underserved. And Knight-Hennessy was the catalyst to realize that, oh, the issues are much broader than what I had imagined.
Yeah. Why the MBA for both?
My goal would be to go back to Ghana or other sub-Saharan African countries, try to build more clinics, more hospitals. Adding a second degree ultimately comes from what do I hope will allow me to have the greatest impact in my line of work.
Any advice for a first year?
For a freshman? There you go first.
I've also benefited greatly from the mentorship that you get from cohorts above you. I find that both motivating and inspiring to pass down some of the good things that I've learned over the years to Johnny and other people who would come after him.
Okay. And so it begins. If I won at Knight-Hennessy, I probably would be sitting at a cubicle all day in my department doing work in front of my computer. Graduate studies sometimes can be very narrow, and Knight-Hennessy is the opposite of that. My parents left Brazil because life was really difficult there, and they went to London to search for better opportunities. A lot of my experiences were shaped by how people perceived immigrants. I worked many different jobs. I was a cleaner for a very long time. I got involved with politics because my whole life was shaped by it. In order to make policy, the people who suffer the consequences of those should be involved in policy making. I'm studying deliberative democracy so that we can let people have a say in what Congress or Parliament will be passing. Knight-Hennessy is very similar to deliberative democracy in the sense that we have very respectful dialogues with one another and we have very different perspectives. I feel like I'm always learning about why someone believes something that I don't necessarily agree with. We get to hear from amazing scholars and amazing professors that come here to talk about neuroscience and AI and ethics and everything you can think of. But also we go to retreats, and being able to learn about different things at all times without being restricted to what I study is really cool.
There are many frameworks for policy decision making.
I'm in a class called Policy Change Studio for my master's program in international policy. My advisor is Frank Fukuyama. He's a wonderful political scientist. And 5 other Knight-Hennessy scholars are in that class. Should I start with the problem statement? We get to deal with real-world policy issues and try to solve them. All the public defenders' offices of Brazil are very decentralized, and we've partnered with the Public Defender's Office of Rio de Janeiro. We're trying to think about a governance system for the use of AI in public defenders' offices in Brazil. How can you use AI in a way that doesn't hurt citizens? Catalyst, yeah. Okay. I definitely wouldn't have started this project without Knight-Hennessy. I feel more confident and I feel like I have the support of Knight-Hennessy to take on anything I want to take on. We get to sit around the table with John Hennessy and Tina Seelig all the time, so that's pretty incredible. Knight-Hennessy and Stanford are places that have allowed me to feel that my voice matters. Thank you.
All the scholars who join Knight-Hennessy Scholars are really excited about making a positive impact on the world. They come here with very different backgrounds, with very different goals, but together they collectively learn the skills and gain the knowledge needed to bring their ideas to life.
We are here for a purpose. My hope for the future is going back to Ghana to build more healthcare infrastructure.
My goal in the future is to really influence criminal justice reform through addiction neuroscience and science policy. Without Knight-Hennessy, I don't know that I could have pushed forward, and doing that at such an early stage in my career.
If it weren't for Knight-Hennessy, I wouldn't be meeting people who are inspiring and who make me think always of how my work can have global impact and how I can dream big to do things that are meaningful.